Do you ever feel like no one really sees you? Like people see the surface but miss everything else underneath. Like you're working so hard, carrying so much, and yet no one seems to really notice. And you're functioning, maybe even thriving on the outside, but inside, you feel completely alone. And if you're nodding along to this, here's what you're probably experiencing. You find that people compliment your strengths, but they have no idea what it actually cost you to get here. They see you holding it together, but they don't see the weight you're carrying to do it. And you've probably been through things, real things that changed you, that broke you, and you had to rebuild yourself. And you've learned lessons that most people will never have to learn. But when you look around, no one seems to get it. No one acknowledges it. No one sees you. You're working harder than anyone realizes, managing more than people know, dealing with things that you never talk about. And from the outside, you look fine, capable together, but you're not fine. You're exhausted. And the exhaustion isn't just from the work, it's from doing all of it while feeling completely unseen. And so you want someone to notice, to see how much effort it takes for you to show up, to recognize what you've overcome, to understand the depth of what you have to carry every day, but they don't. And that makes you feel even more alone than anything else. But here's what's actually happening. You're actually hiding, not consciously, not on purpose, but you're keeping the real parts of yourself, the struggling parts, the heavy parts, the parts that need support completely out of view. You show up, you're there, you're functioning, but you're only letting people see the version of you that's holding it all together, the version that's capable, the version that doesn't need anything. And then you wonder why no one sees what you're going through, but they can't because you won't show them. Let me show you exactly how this plays out. Maybe you minimize your success. So someone congratulates you on an accomplishment and you immediately deflect. Oh, it's not that big of a deal. I just got lucky. Anyone else could have done this. If you don't let them see how hard you worked for it, how much it mattered to you, even how much it cost you to get that achievement, or maybe you hide your needs, you never ask for help, you never admit when you're struggling, you never let anyone see that you need something because needing feels like being too much, like being a burden, like being weak. So you handle everything alone. And then you resent that no one offers to help, but they don't know you need it because you never show them. Maybe you people please. You become what people need you to be. You say what they want to hear. You show them the version of you that's easy, helpful, low maintenance. And in the process, the real you just feels like it's invisible, it disappears. Or maybe you just completely withdraw. You don't speak up in conversations because what if what you say doesn't matter? You don't share your feelings because what if they're too much? You don't take up space because what if you're not important enough to deserve it? So you stay quiet, you stay small, you stay safe, and you stay unseen. And the real reason you do all of this is because showing your depth feels risky. Somewhere along the line, you learned that people either didn't notice, didn't understand, or couldn't hold your full reality. So you learned to show less, to need less, to be less of a problem. And now you don't trust being seen. You want it desperately, but you also fear it because showing yourself means risking disappointment, dismissal, or discovering that even when you're fully visible, you still don't matter to them. Hiding actually feels safer, even though it contradicts what you genuinely want deep down. But here's what hiding is actually costing you. You're completely alone. Not physically, you're surrounded by people, you have relationships, connections, interactions, but you're alone in the ways that matter because no one knows what you're actually dealing with. No one sees the weight you carry. No one understands what it takes for you to show up every day looking like you have it together. You're managing everything by yourself, and sometimes it feels like it's breaking you. There's this deep ache to be recognized, for someone to see how hard you're trying, to acknowledge what you've been through, to understand that Sometimes you're not just functioning, you're surviving. And sometimes surviving takes everything you have. But no one sees that weight because you won't show them. And here's where it gets even more complicated. Even when people do try to see you, it feels uncomfortable. Someone asks how you're really doing, and you panic and deflect, and you just say, I'm fine, even though you wanted them to ask. Someone offers you support and you decline, you tell them you've got it, even though you might desperately actually need help because you've spent so long being the one who doesn't need anything, being the one who has it together, being the one who handles everything alone, that when someone finally offers to see you, to really see you, it feels wrong. It feels off brand to your own identity. So let me tell you what's actually happening underneath all of this. Deep down, you don't feel like you matter. And you think if someone would just see what you've been through, if they could understand what you've been carrying, the effort it takes, what you've survived, then you'd finally feel like you matter. If someone would just recognize it, acknowledge it, validate that it's been hard, then you'd finally feel important. But here's the trap. You're waiting for someone else to give you a feeling that only you can give yourself. Because even if someone does see you, even if they do validate your struggle, it won't land. It won't fill the hole because you don't believe you're important. So their recognition bounces off. It feels uncomfortable, unearned, like they don't really get it. Watch what happens when someone does see you, when they do acknowledge what you've been through or recognize your strength. You deflect it or you minimize it. It doesn't land because you don't believe it. The invisibility you feel, it's not because people don't see you, it's because you don't see yourself. The wound is that you believe that you don't matter, and no amount of external validation can fix that. And here's what you need to face, that you should have been seen. You should have felt important without having to earn it. You should have mattered to someone just for existing, not for performing or achieving or being easy. That was supposed to be given to you and it wasn't. And that's not nothing, that's real loss. But unfortunately, you can't get that time back and you can't go back and get what you needed then. But as long as you're still waiting for someone to give it to you now, you'll stay stuck in this cycle, hiding, performing, feeling invisible, desperately hoping that someone will finally see you and tell you that you're important. But no one can give you that feeling because it's not about external validation. It's about internal belief. You have to build the belief that you're important, that you matter, that your struggles are relevant, that your story is significant, that you deserve to take up space, that you're allowed to have needs and still be worthy of love. And you can't build that belief while you're still performing for approval, while you're still hiding the real parts of you, while you're still measuring your worth by whether other people notice you. You build it by stopping the equation that says you matter because of what you've overcome, because of your strength, because of your resilience, because of what you survived. Yes, you've been through things. Yes, you're strong. Yes, you've survived what would have broken others. And you should definitely recognize that in yourself. But that's not what makes you fundamentally matter as a human. You don't matter because of your story. You matter because you exist. Your worth isn't earned through struggle or strength or survival. It just is. And as long as you're trying to prove you matter by pointing out what you've been through, you're still making your worth conditional, just on different conditions. You have to stop looking outside yourself for proof that you're important because you'll never find it. Looking for other people to fulfill that for you is backwards. You have to believe that you matter first before anyone else can, before their validation means anything, before their recognition can land. And I know that feels impossible right now because you spent your whole life measuring your importance by whether other people acknowledged it. So here's something I want you to try to start doing today. The next time you feel the urge to hide, to minimize, to deflect, I want you to pause. I want you to notice it. Don't judge it. Just notice it. Oh, there's that instinct again to make myself smaller. And then try something different, something tiny. And someone asks how you are, instead of just saying, I'm fine, say, honestly, this week has been quite hard for me. That's it. You don't have to explain it. You don't need to perform your suffering. You can just state your truth. And someone compliments you, instead of deflecting it, say thank you, even if it feels uncomfortable. When you accomplish something, even if it's small, tell one person about it without minimizing it. Not, it's not a big deal. Not anyone can do this, but I'm really proud of what I've done today, what I've achieved. These feel small, they feel insignificant, but they're not, because every time you let yourself be seen, really seen, you're sending yourself a message that you matter, that you're worth taking up space, that you don't have to earn your visibility. You're practicing believing in your own importance before anyone else does. And here's what starts to shift when you do this. You stop needing other people to notice your struggle, to feel valid. You stop waiting for someone to acknowledge your pain, to know that it's real. You stop performing your worth to prove you deserve to be here. And you start showing up as yourself. Not the polished version, not the easy version, not the version that never needs anything, just you. And when people see you, really see you, it will actually land, because you're not deflecting it anymore. You're not minimizing it. You're not making yourself smaller to make them comfortable. You're letting yourself matter to yourself first and then to them. And that invisibility that you've been feeling your whole life, it starts to fade. Not because people suddenly start seeing you differently, but because you finally see yourself. You have been important this whole time. Not because of what you survived or accomplished, not because someone finally noticed. You've been important because you're here, because you exist, because your life has value, because you have value. And the moment you stop needing someone else to confirm that is the moment that you actually stop feeling invisible and having the need to feel seen, because their seeing you was never the point. The point was you seeing you. And now you can start.